Hi everybody, my name is Sariol. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview on English tenses. For this presentation, I'm going to explain on when to use each of these English tenses. Let's begin with the present simple tense. Present simple tense is used to express habitual action or to express an idea that is generally accepted as true. This is something that doesn't change, like I hear the bell, present time. Roy works in an airplane factory, habitual action. Honesty is the best policy, generally accepted truth. It's a simple fact for regular action, things you do every day or every week. Okay, let's continue to the next one. The second form is the present continuous tense. The present continuous tense is used for continuing or progressing action at a time indicated by a particular tense. It means action that are happening now. I am speaking. Action now like physical action. We also use it for one-time action or idea, and this relates a little bit to future tense, which I'm going to talk about later. But something happening just one time in the future, we can use the continuous form to describe it. For example, I am leaving this Saturday. Sometimes other may ask, what's the difference in usage between I'm leaving this Saturday from I leave this Saturday? Remember, we talk about the present simple tense. We use the present simple tense for regular actions, for general facts. So if you usually work on Saturdays, you should use the present simple tense like Roy works on Saturdays. However, if this Saturday is special and you don't usually work on Saturdays, you should use the continuous tense. Roy is working this Saturday, so it sounds like that's not a typical thing for Roy. Present perfect tense denotes action that is completed at the time of speaking or writing. We usually use the present perfect tense for a general life experience or lack thereof. The only difference between the simple tense is that the perfect tense includes the idea of completion. In grammar, the word perfect refers to an action or state of being that is completed at the time of speaking or writing. It's something that one did in the past, but not at a specific point in time. Example, Roy has washed the car. In negative sentence, Roy has never been to Alaska. In this case, no life experience of going to Alaska is what this means. We structure in perfect tense, we need to attach has or have before our past participle verb form. The present perfect continuous tense is used for actions that started in the past and continue to the present. Something you started doing some point in the past. It's not always important when, but that action continues. We use this to talk about our study. We use words like for, since, and ago. Example, I've been studying English for 4 semesters. So here we see I've. This is the contracted or the reduced form of I have. This is the continuous or the progressive form. In this case, I've used the word for because I'm using 4 semesters, which is a length of time. We can use since. I've been studying English since 2020. We used since before a specific point in time. We can also use ago. We usually pair it with since. I've been studying English since 4 semesters ago. You will notice when we use ago, we change from using in my first example 2020 to a length of time since 4 semesters ago. There are a few different changes you need to make there. Okay, let's move on to the second group for this lesson, which is the past tense. Let's look at the 4 points in the past. First one is the past simple or just simple past tense. Simple past tense is used for actions that started and finished in the past. Example, I saw Roy on the fence yesterday. I used the past tense so simple past tense because the action started and finished in the past. We used simple past tense to talk about the simple action that started and finished in the past. Okay. The past continuous tense is used for actions that were continuing in the past. We often use with a specific time indicator along with it. An example, we were listening to lecture yesterday. When were we listening to lecture? That action was continuing yesterday. It's common to include a time indicator with this grammar point ing form here. We used it typically in response to someone's question like, what were you doing yesterday? You want to know someone's activities at a specific point in time. You can use this grammar point to respond to this question. Okay, let's go on to the past perfect tense. The past perfect tense is used for actions that were completed or not completed at non-specific point in the past. This is probably not used quite often so much in everyday conversation. This is used a bit more in writing. This is a grammar point that's especially helpful when we want to show kind of timeline in our writing, to show that an action happened before another action in the past. Example, they hadn't departed yet. He hadn't is the reduced or contracted form of had not. I had taken my breakfast. You would use sentence like this if we are telling a story. We are telling a story about the past and you want to show that one action happened before another action. When you want to talk about the preceding action, so the thing that happened recently, like more in the past, we use the past perfect tense. We can use the simple past tense to explain the action that happened closer to the present. Example, I had taken my breakfast when I saw my friend came. You can see this second point here that I used the simple past tense. I saw my friend came. So I had taken my breakfast. Furthermore, in the past tense, when I saw my friend came, that's simple past tense. This is probably more common in writing, but it is used in speaking as well. This is what we use for a past perfect tense. The past perfect continuous tense is used to demonstrate an action which continued for a specific period of time but stopped before another action. There are sentences or questions for actions that started in the past and continued in an unspecified point in the past. The action has finished as well. That's a key difference with the present perfect continuous. With present perfect continuous, the action is happening now and that behavior is still continuous. Key point with past perfect continuous is that action started at some point in the past and then continued and finished as well. But it's an specified point. We don't know exactly when the action finished, but it's done, it's completed. Example, they had been waiting since 8 a.m. Here, it shows that there was some waiting period started at 8 a.m. and the waiting continued, but we don't know when the waiting finished. The grammar point shows that the waiting has finished, it's done. We wanted to talk only about the period of time. The grammar point that we use to talk about things that were happening over a period of time in the past and then finish. This is something we use when telling stories by showing a sequence of events. Okay. Future simple tense is used for actions that are planned or unplanned and will occur in the future. There are actually a lot of different things we can do to make the future simple tense. Some very common ways of making future simple are through using will, won't, going to, and not going to. And recently in this lesson, I mentioned using the continuous tense, the present continuous tense, the ing form of a verb to make a statement about the future. I'll see you tonight. I'll is the reduced or contracted form of I will. This is simple planned activity in the future or something that is not going to happen in the future. Future continuous tense is used for actions you think will or will not be continuing in the future. Something you think will be continuously happening in the future. An example, Roy is not going to be working at company. You can see we have going to, a verb in the continuous tense. A thought now is in the future. That's the idea behind other future continuous tense. The future perfect tense denotes action that will be completed at some definite time in the future. It refers to actions that you think will have started some point in the future. Remember, you are thinking in the present, but this grammar point is used to talk about something you think in the future that starts at some point and you think might be continuing into the future. It may be something started and continues. It's the idea here. Example, I will have lived in Alaska for 2 years. Here I am using will to show its future tense statement plus have lived. This is the same thing that we use for the present perfect tense that we talked about recently. That past participle plus have or has, but we are attaching it to a future tense. When would we use this? If, for example, someone asks you a question about your future, you may say like, I will have lived in Alaska for 2 years. It means not now, but in the future at that point in time. You will have started living in Alaska and that will have continued for 2 years. That's what that means about the future. A future time period that something will have continued in the future. This is great for storytelling, for imagining your future. This is used similar to the last one, but for actions you think will or won't have started and will be continuing. Something that's going to have started in the future. Something started and the action will have continued into the future. I think there's a lot of information in this lesson. If you have some questions or comments, please feel free to leave a comment below this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching this lesson and I will see you soon again. Bye.